Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Well, good. The microphone is working right now. Good. I don't know what that other thing was, but let's hope it never comes back. Let's see. Rodney Jackson, thank you so much for being first. And hello to Judy Matasid. And Emerald Derrick is here. Thank you very much for being here. And let's see. There. Got that going. Gwendolyn Daniels, Lydia Washington, um, Carolita Simone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Marcelina Martinez. Okay. CL is here. Marsha Williams is here. Very cool. Leah Torrey, thank you for being here. All right. So, there we go. I'm recycling one of my favorite thumbnails. So, um, yeah, I think I've probably used this maybe 4 times. It's one of my favorites for obvious reasons. I get a kick out of this one. Okay. Couple of those things look like something I saw lurking at the thing that Jimmy Fallon put together yesterday. Okay. So let's see if we can get out of here in an hour or less. I don't really have a whole lot, so we'll see. Here's another exciting photo of Harry commanding the space, of course. I have to show you that again. And how about this one? I believe this was on the Jane Goodall Instagram. Yeah, Jane Goodall's Instagram. She had this one, and there's another one. Let me see. That one. Okay. What a great, exciting life she has, Jane Goodall. Let's see here. Jane Goodall. Wow, did she just have a birthday? Yes, so there's that one. Okay, we're only really interested in the ones that has our Duke of Sussex. So let me see. Yes, just that one. And let me show you the other one. Ah, there you go. There's that global statesman mixing it up with people like Chelsea Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Jane Goodall, and Jose Andreas. So, just to name a few. Just to name a few. Okay. Wow. And Jane Goodall looks good. She looks really, really good for what is she? Is she like 90 now? She looks fantastic. She's in amazing shape too. But let's see, where is she? Go back here. There you go. That's Jane Goodall holding the sign there. Vote for nature, right? Cast your ballot. Make sure that you remember nature. Or as they say in psychology, is it nature or no nurture, right? Is the age-old question: nature or nurture? Okay. And there we go. So let's get into this sovereign grant. I decided that I would dig up a few things about the sovereign grant that I had in my vast archives. Let's see. Well, so this is actually, how old is that image on the left? I've had it for a little while. I'm going to say maybe 2 years I've had that one. So, Republic, as you know, Republic has been pushing about the sovereign grant using it as the reason that the monarchy needs to go, right? So the BBC ignored news that the sovereign grant will be going up, which is what they said a couple years ago. They then reported that a boy has turned 10. So it was more important to them that, well, yeah, so this had to be a couple years ago, right? That George is 10 years old, again, past tense, and no mention of the fact that the sovereign grant was going up, right? Okay. Now, on the right side, in that very small print on a black background, which is kind of painful for me. But let me see what I got here. I'm going to make it as big as possible so I can see it. It says sovereign grant brought. Ooh, let me pull it a little closer. Nope, not yet. I need to lean back a bit. There we go. The sovereign grant brought together separate payments in one lump sum and gave the palace more autonomy in how they spent the cash, but it's still essentially the same deal as in 1760. The monarch surrenders the what is the CE money? Um, in return for a payment from the government. So it says there in 2011, David Cameron and George Osborne wanted to take the heat out of pay rise of the Queen. In other words, they didn't want the royal family or representatives of the sovereign to go hat in hand to the parliament begging for money or pay increases, if you will. So they decided to use a formula once and for all that would give a constant pay raise to the monarchy, regardless of what the economy is doing at that time, right? So controversies and bowed to pressure from the palace to create a sovereign grant, linking the funding formula to what is the CE profits? I should know what that is, and I forget. As a benchmark, to see guidance anyway. Oh God, my eyes are hurting. The profit of Crown Estate. That's the CE is Crown Estate. Okay. Oh, thank you very much, Lydia Washington, Crown Estate. No sound? Okay, it looks like okay, the sound is working good. Okay, so the Crown Estate does not pay the sovereign grant to the monarch directly. It makes a payment each year to the Consolidated Fund, and Her Majesty's or His Majesty's Treasury pays the sovereign grant to the monarch. You guys, I don't care how you read that, it never makes sense. The estate does not pay the sovereign grant to the monarch directly. It makes a payment each year to the Consolidated Fund, and His Majesty's Treasury pays the sovereign grant to the monarch. Confused? So am I. So am I. So we're going to try this one more time because I've dabbled with this before. Now, open up your imaginary beer or pour you a glass of an imaginary sherry, and let's try to do this, okay? So the Crown Estate makes a payment of profits, right? Paid to His Majesty's Treasury. They calculate it, and then that calculated money becomes the sovereign grant, which is paid to the Crown Estate, which owns, this is the convenient part, right? The sovereign estate owns the crown estate, which is the one that makes a profit. And then it pays said profit to His Majesty's Treasury, which in turn is going to calculate that 15 to 25%. And then that goes into the sovereign grant. They're going to give it to the sovereign grant, which pays it to the crown estate, which happens to own. I'm sorry, they pay it to the crown, which owns the crown estate, which makes the payment with profit that they pay to the treasury, which is calculated at 15 to 25%, which goes to the Woo! Nice work if you can get it, ain't it? Do you understand that? I would love to see some of the best and the brightest in finance take a look at that and try to explain it to real people. In the meantime, on the right side is another one of those right wing. Well, I don't know if it's right wing, but the NHS is collapsing. 6,500 annual energy bill. I guess that's the average. And mind you, this was back in 2022. Also, you have 18% inflation. I don't know how consistent that is. Home building is frozen. Customer service is at all-time low. And take a look at the bile flowing directly into the ocean only after it goes through a lot of rivers and tributaries around the United Kingdom. And transport system is broken. So you got all that going on, but the sovereign grant is getting a big fat raise every year, no matter what. They get their money, regardless as to what the rest of the economy is doing. Now, there it is. Now, at the bottom, it says from the Crown Estate website, it is managed by independent organization established by statute, headed by a board also known as the Crown Estate Commissioners. And the surplus revenue from each estate is paid each year to the Treasury for the benefit of the nation's finance. So, on the one hand, you had everything that I said before. But if you look in the middle right there, it says, what is the truth? The Treasury gives the money to the sovereign grant, and that money goes to the sovereign. Case closed. The money isn't going in some big circle. The money is just going. They just get the money, plain and simple. So the Guardian over here on the right, it says, did it explain the fact that the equivalent 12% of the Crown Estate's profit, the grant would jump from 86 million pounds next year to 126 million by 2026? Okay, that is the deception right there. It says 126 million by 2026. The truth is, it is far greater than that because it does not show the actual cost of the monarchy, the transportation, the royal protection, the protection of property, which is guarded and protected 24 hours a day. We're talking like 24 different properties is protected year round, plus a bunch of other expenses that are very difficult to account for. But Republic has financed a study that says right now, the royal family is a whopping 500 million pounds a year, £500 million. Payments made to the monarchy under the sovereign grant mechanism are projected to increase in 2025. Darn right it is. It goes up regardless of what the economy is doing. It never stops increasing. I don't think that there's any valve to turn it off. It just assumes they're going to need more money. So, again, these are just a couple of things that I've been hanging on to. Payments made to the monarchy under the sovereign grant mechanism in each year since it was introduced in 2012, 2013. Again, David Cameron and Osborne were the ones who came up with this so that the Queen, and see, I keep saying that they were using the Queen's age as a leverage to get things done that otherwise would have been impossible. There's no way that Charles would have been able to achieve this. Only the late Queen, weaponizing her old age, is what made a law like this possible. Okay, so Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, plugged a 3.4 million pound or $3.4 million hole in the royal family's finances last summer when they covered the cost of refurbishing their UK residence, which, of course, since then has been snatched away from them. So during the global pandemic, because the various properties like Windsor Castle was not making any money since it was shut down, when the Sussexes paid back that money for the refurbishment of the Frogmore Cottage, which they should not have paid back because it was a gift. And no matter what anybody says, do bear in mind that the Frogmore Cottage was already scheduled to be refurbished. That was going to happen whether or not Harry and Meghan ever used it as a home. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex were given Frogmore Cottage by the Queen in 2019 as the property where they would build their family. The building in Windsor, which is on England's Register of Protected Historic Structures, housed 5 apartments for royal staff and needed renovation. It was going to be renovated anyway. The work was funded in part by the British public money given to the monarch, known as, guess what? The sovereign grant, right? The sovereign grant. You see, these properties, they belong to the Crown Estate. They're maintained by the sovereign grant. But as members of the public, if you want to pay to see the properties that are opened up to the, tourists, you have to pay for it. You don't pay for the British Museum. You don't pay for the Victoria and Albert Museum. There's a lot of places you don't have to pay for. But to go to Windsor Castle, Buckingham Palace, and now Balmoral, you got to pay. You got to pay. You have to pay. There are no free days. Okay, so moving on. When in 2011, David Cameron and his Chancellor George Osborne reformed. I'm looking at the W. The method by which the taxpayers fund the monarchy, they presented the House of Windsor with a gift that keeps on giving. Outwent the civil lists, annual awards to specific members of the royal family, and in came the new formula designed to, what is that? Deniture acrimonious exchanges in Parliament over the correct level of support due to the institution. Mr. Osborne wheezed was linked to the new annual award named the Sovereign Grant to the profits of the Crown Estate's vast range of national assets, including land holdings, seabed rights, and seabed rights. That means that all of the seabed that surrounds the United Kingdom, right? All of that is the personal property of the sovereign. You heard me. That is the personal property of the sovereign. Yet its earnings were turned into an arbitrary benchmark by which funding could be calculated. This is not something that is ancient. This is very new. The whole idea that they get this money automatically, this is something new. Yeah. Republic suggests 150 million pounds annually, but the exact amount is a mystery. This is wrong. Publishing a headline figure in no way affects personal security and is right. And see, they were trying to say that the cost of protecting the royals is actually, what do they call it? It's a matter of security that they cannot divulge that information. So anyway, Republic says if you can't access the Times article, here's some interesting excerpts. Crown Estate doesn't fund the monarchy. Duchies aren't private property of the royals. So anyway, let me see. Where did the article come from? Yeah, it's the Times article. So if you want to see the article in its entirety, do go to the Times and you can see the entire thing. Now, let's move on to. Wait, where am I going? Is that the wrong way? There we go. There's Prince Harry. I don't know if you can see him, but take a look at the bottom of the fire escape. That's one of those New York fire escapes. You can see Harry down there wearing a jacket. Looks like his sleeves are rolled up, and he's hopping in the back of that SUV. Well, Harry was spotted in Manhattan at a tattoo parlor. That's right. They say he spent about an hour there. It's called the East Side Ink. Tattoo, what is it? Something laser. Microblading, that's what that is, right? Yeah, so Harry was at the tattoo parlor. Church Nelly, 37 months membership? That is outstanding. Thank you so much. And hello to you too. Okay, so again, there's Harry hopping in SUV. Who knows? Maybe he went there for some microblading, or what other service do they have? Or maybe he had some hair removal. You never know. Wait, what does that say? You go, Harry. Get your tattoo. Get your tattoo on. Okay, and then Prince Harry's Sintibale organization leading initiative to support young people in Southern Africa. Harry is going back to Africa. Let's see. Prince Harry's latest philanthropic move will gather world business leaders and philanthropists to work toward fostering prosperity in Southern Africa, African communities, specifically focused on young people. Let's see. Prince Harry's latest philanthropic is that? I think. Oh no, that's right. Philanthropies toward fostering prosperity. Does that do that twice? I think so. In early October, Harry's charity organization, Sintibale, which he co-founded with Prince Seso of Lesotho in 2006, will bring together leaders from Google's charitable arm and several other companies and organizations for a series of meetings and discussions in Lesotho and Johannesburg. Yes, so in October, um, expect to see the Duke of Sussex in South Africa and Lesotho in our early October. So yeah, Harry's going back to Africa. No word as to whether the Duchess of Sussex is going to join him. We don't know yet, but let me see. The gathering will be Harry's first time visiting Southern Africa since 2019. He's long been devoted to philanthropy work in the region. In honor of his late mother, Princess Diana, the Duke of Sussex and leaders will partner with local organizations and companies that are already actively brainstorming solutions to the roadblocks in place for young people in the region to succeed. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. They're going there. Next, enters the buffoon again. Well, it says here Boris Johnson, who was not, Boris Johnson was not asked by Buckingham Palace to try to persuade Prince Harry to stay in the UK. The palace wants people to know that after all of that bullying and coercion that they pulled at Sandringham, the idea that the palace then turned around and begged Boris Johnson to try to stop Harry from leaving, the palace is saying no, that did not happen. They did not ask Boris Johnson to save Harry for them. I don't know who you believe. Do you believe the palace or do you believe Bojo's book? But again, the palace says that they did not ask Boris Johnson to talk to Harry. So I don't know. Um, oh, we're making good time in today. I am coming to Canada. You can now get tickets to all sports events, booth pool matches, and finals for the Invictus Vancouver Whistler 2025. The games start in 133 days. Okay? You got 133 days. If you are booking for Vancouver, you really should have done that about 6 months ago, but it's not too late. Now, I hear it is rather expensive in Vancouver. Don't worry about the cold weather. There are plenty opportunities to stay warm, not to mention that kind of, you know how they always say that, oh, yeah, it's hot in Las Vegas, but it's a different kind of heat, right? It's a dry heat. Well, in Vancouver, it is sunny and balmy most days. So you don't have that overcast, kind of cold. The sun will be shining, which will be enough to keep you a bit warmer than, if it wasn't. So um, it's a rather pleasant experience. There'll be lots of warm drinks and good company. So if you are going to Whistler, Vancouver, um, again, try to make your arrangements sooner rather than later. Okay? Okay. Oh, Ministry of Hacks. Where are you? Gotta get a sound bite. Ministry of Hacks has been at it again. Love this guy. Okay. As usual, he says what a lot of people are thinking, which is why we love him so much.
praise indeed for Harry, and very true. Before we jump into this one, you know the score. Comments are open. Would love your opinion. So Vanity Fair are confirming what we all knew, that Harry's transition from a working royal to global advocate and statesman is now complete. What a brilliant piece of digital media from a quality digital media outlet, giving details of why they believe Harry is moving into a new role as a global statesman, and he's using his power and his knowledge to get the world talking about all the things we should be talking about. It's not always about Harry and Meghan. They realize they are popular. They're using their popularity to force the world to have a debate. How different is that approach to the taxpayer-funded traditional British working royal family? That sentence is getting longer. It's diametric approaches in how the two organizations work and what's important in each organization. For Harry and Meghan, the importance is things we should be talking about. For the British working royal family, taxpayer-funded, it's about themselves. The weekend's in sight. Happy Friday. Have a brilliant day and have a brilliant weekend.
Okay. And there's poor Willie. There's nothing more sadder and yet amusing than a wet Willie. Look at wet Willie. He's all soaked. And in spite of everything, there he is, still trying to save his dignity by bringing out his camera crew. You know, he can't do anything without dragging out that camera crew. So interesting how they used to claim Harry and Meghan have the Netflix camera crew. Well, who's got the camera crew today? It's Wet Willie. And here we go again. Rinse and repeat. Richard Eden is of the opinion, could Prince William give Beatrice and Eugenie royal duties? How many times are you going to say the same thing? How many times? Now, I don't speak for them, but well, you know what? Here, let them speak for themselves. You see that? This is the last time. Look at her eyes. Look at her eyes. This was the last time that they asked Beatrice and Eugenie to carry out some royal duties. Okay? This was the last time. Does that look like they're interested? Do they look remotely interested in royal duties? I'm going to just guess and say no. Yeah, I'm going to say a hard no to that one. There is much speculation. Who's speculating about that? Mm-mm. Yeah, he's trying to make the case, but no. There's no imminent return to royal duty for Beatrice and Eugenie. I'm going to say a hard no to that one. I don't think they were best pleased to be there, and I'm going to say no. This is more of Richard Eden just looking for something to talk about. Okay, Ministry of Hacks again.
Confusing? Yes, so am I. I'm in the same boat as you. Don't worry. But before we jump...
Oh, sorry.
Confused and confusing? Yes, so am I. I'm in the same boat as you. Don't worry. But before we jump into this one, happy Friday. You know the score. Comments are open. Would love your opinion. So Kate's been out and about, continuing her recovery, Going to Saddle as well to see a ballet in the UK. Couple of things about this. No photographs from the media at all, probably to be expected. More weirdly, though, no photographs from the general public. Even ballet goers are obsessed with culture and have a smartphone in their pocket. But there you go. And incidentally, this was headline news for about 2 seconds. It's dropped off all the main media channels already. My thoughts on this one, you probably know. I'm really disappointed. I'm disappointed for all the charities that Kate holds dear to her heart, that Kate is doing things for herself, tennis, ballet, etc., not things for other people. All the charities that she's harped on about for 10 years are getting zero attention, and she's doing nothing for them in probably, no, definitely the biggest time of need that the UK has ever had. Charities are absolutely desperate for donations and desperate for support because of the cost of living crisis. But Kate decides to do something for herself. I just think it's odd. No sign of William, no evidence, a single tweet, no work, divorce on the cards. I don't know. Let me know of your thoughts. Have a brilliant weekend. Comments are open, guys.
So again, that is the Ministry of Hex, and there is his daily report about the royals. I like him. He's good. Okay, the Times view on the cost of the monarchy. Okay, I'm done with that topic. That's the article right there. I'm done with that one. Okay, David Cameron rules out. Oh, yeah. But I did want to make this point. David Cameron, the same person that really gave a blank check to the royal family, he's also the prime minister that shut down the whole conversation about reparations. See there? Mr. Cameron also announced a 25 million pounds in British aid for new Jamaican prison. He don't want to discuss reparations, but instead, just to come with some kind of a gift to the Caribbean and a 300 million pound development package for the Caribbean, which will provide grants for infrastructure projects, including roads and bridges. And don't forget, jailing or prisons for Jamaica. David Cameron, he is a real a-hole. I cannot stand him. But yeah, so no reparations, but we'll give you some money if you want to put some people in prison. We're all for that. As a matter of fact, we have some Windrush people that we are going to send your way. But yeah, so that's also the other thing that David Cameron is responsible for. Leg says, Daily, what is that? The Daily Mail uses Franken photo cringe bits snaps as valid. Thank you, Legs. Which ones though? Which ones? Is there something new? Is there something new? Did I miss one? Did I just show one? Are you just saying in general? Oh, you're speaking about what the Minister of Hacks was saying. Well, I'm wondering though, and this is something that is not just for this occasion, but several occasions. How is it that at a time in the choice place of their choice, that the royals can be out and about and yet there's no photos? Remember when they said that Meghan had went to a Taylor Swift concert? Absolutely not one single photo. It's amazing how they can tell a story and not back it up with some kind of photographic evidence or video evidence, especially in the day and age we live in where everybody is a photographer or photojournalist. But thank you again, Legs. Okay. So yeah, done with that. Oh yeah, there he is in Jamaica on that trip where he said, "Y'all ain't getting no reparations." And Omen Scobie says the man saw much scarier in the Royal Rota. And he's right about that. If the Royal Rota hasn't frightened Harry, um, or should I say, if there's anything that has ever frightened Harry, it has to be the Royal Rota. This whole nightmares thing, probably not as scary as the Royal Rota. Take a look at this. If you saw the video, then you know that. Oh, by the way, I put the link to that video of Harry on the late. What is it? The Tonight Show, um, with Jimmy Fallon. The link is in the community tab. But okay, so after Harry and Jimmy went through this part of that little scary place, scary house, whatever you call it, fright house. The girls that were, back there scaring people, one of them said, "Who was that?" And the other one said, "Prince Harry." And she was like, "Oh my God." She started like fanning herself. She could not believe that that was Prince Harry. And yeah, she's like, "Oh my," so it was very funny. And then, of course, I don't know how they managed to do it, but they apparently now you when you watch the video, you can't see it because it goes by so fast. But there was also some type of Angela Levin scary thing back there. Yeah, there was something that looked like Angela Levin. Now I'm pretty sure that was frightening. If nothing else could scare you, seeing Angela Levin, that would make you crap your pants. That would do it for me, especially if she started to pucker up. Right? I bet you that would give Harry nightmares. It'll make you want to take your chances with the Taliban, wouldn't it? I spent 15 minutes with Harry, and then I wrote a book. Yeah, so that's the very frightful Angela Levin. And then, of course, there was the stepmother thing that was probably scary too. They had something that looked like everybody's stepmother, evil stepmother. And of course, it all started off with a Camilla lookalike. So yeah, scary times for all. Scary times for all. And of course, the reaction of Jimmy Fallon to the um, guest appearance by Prince Harry. Let me find that.
Get ready for what Tonightmares was so fun. We just did it with Prince Harry. It was insane. The best part, we did it with Prince Harry, and the actors dressed as the zombies at the end. Both have with security cameras around them, and they have a freak out. The one zombie goes, "Oh my gosh!" He goes, "Watch!" He goes, "That was Prince Harry," and the other zombie's like, and they start doing this. It steals the show. It's super fun. He was a great guest. Totally game for it. It's scary, but it's fun.
You got Tonightmares going on.
Insane. The best part, we did it with.
Okay, so there you go. Magical or embarrassing? Prince Charles and Camilla's EastEnders cameo divides viewers. So sometimes it doesn't even have to be Halloween to have something scary happen. Sometimes it'll scare you just turning on your favorite show like EastEnders, and next thing you know, there's a couple of royal corpses walking around, the queen consort and the sovereign. And then, of course, on the right side there's another one of those shameless appearances by the royal couple. The whole point is, there's all of that criticism about Harry. He's making such a fool of himself and so on and so forth. But you got to remember that royals have done this for a long time. And of course, Charles and Camilla, when they were on their campaign to make people love them, or at least try to get people not to throw eggs at them, they made several television appearances. I remember when they were on, what is that show, This Morning? Is that on ITV? They were on This Morning one time. So they show up wherever they want to. They guest edit magazines and such. But it's only a problem when the Sussexes are pulling all of that popularity across the airways. Let me see. Did they play a vampire or his old horse? You know what? YM Joy, thank you for the super chat. You know how they used to have that show with Bob Vila on public television, This Old House? Well, they should have a show with Camilla, This Old. Oh, I can't say that, can I? Anyway, you take something that's old and broke down and dilapidated and out of date, this old Camilla, and you fix it up, right? Lady T, you stop reading my man here. You stop reading my man. I didn't told you about that. Stop reading my man. Woo! Oh well. uh anyway, you guys, I am done. Let me see, 49 minutes and so many seconds. Let me see, only so much a new saddle can do. Yes, that's it. This old horse. That's what I was saying. Not that other word. This old horse. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Promise. This old horse. Ah. Well, with age comes experience. But I wouldn't want to have been there during that experience. Oh, Lisa Wood says, Baron, it is so good to listen to a live again. A lot has happened, but I'm back. Well, all good, I hope. All good, I hope. But either way, we're glad to have you here. Life does happen. Life does happen. You just never know. Lola Love, thank you so much for the super sticker and thank you for being here. Okay. Oh, by the way, you guys, for the third time in my life, I actually answered or gave the right question for Final Jeopardy. Um, the question was, or the answer, she was arrested back in, I think it was 1926 for, gosh, what was it? For a play that she wrote, right? I'm going to give it to you so you all can answer it. She was arrested, and don't uh, get on me about the year exactly because I know it was the 1920s. But she was arrested for a play that she wrote in New York. And she was an actress and she wrote a play. And they told her that if you put that play on, you're going to get arrested. And she did it anyway. And she got arrested. Does anybody know what the right question is? All right, I'm gonna give you a minute. Do 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 do. Boom boom. Okay, anybody? Anybody? This was the third time I got a Final Jeopardy. At least I think it was three. I can only think of one for sure. And I know I got another one, but who is Sarah Bernhardt? Nope, that's not it. Anybody else? I'm going to give it a minute. Oh, by the way, hi, Black Cougar. It's been a while. Alice Childress, Carol Channing. Nope and nope. Now, I was at the doctor's office and I was half asleep and I was good that day. I was just giving out those things. Yes, coffee bar. It was Mae West. Did you cheat? It was Mae West. A lot of people don't know this. Oh, Reba Henderson got it too. And so did I got a feeling that one or three of y'all went and Googled the answer. Is that right? Or did you know off the top of your head? But yes, it was Mae West. Mae West had wrote a play called Sex. And they told her, if you run that play, we're going to run you to jail. And she did it anyway. And anyway, she went to jail. It was the ultimate slap on the back of the hand. She actually ate dinner every night with the warden and his wife, right? She was pretty much a guest of the warden and his wife. So it wasn't really like, but anyway, I think the charges were dropped or whatever, or she had to pay some fine, and that was the end of it. You guys, if you want to see a very interesting documentary, try to find the one about Mae West. She was an incredible person. She was actually over 40 when she went out to Hollywood, but before that, she was a vaudevillian. She wrote plays. She did comedy. She did stand-up comedy. She'd write music. She'd sing. She did some of everything. And so at one time, she was actually the highest paid actress in Hollywood, mostly because in the early days of cinema, there really weren't any women writing scripts, at least nobody that we can name off the top of our head. So when she looked at the script and she was like, God, this is awful. I could do better than that. They said, well, if you don't like it, then write your own script. And that's what she did. And so not only was she receiving money as an actress, but she was also given credit for being a writer. So yeah, that was the Final Jeopardy. And that was one of the few that I was able to answer. Now, I know one for sure that I could recall. And It was who were the two Republican presidents during the centennial and bicentennial years? Who were the two Republican presidents during the centennial and the bicentennial years? And just to save time, because I'm going to get off soon, um, during the first centennial, well, during the centennial, which is the 100 years of the United States, it was Ulysses S. Grant. And during the bicentennial, it was Gerald Ford. Because remember, um, Ulysses S. Grant became president after the Civil War, and he was a Republican. Lincoln didn't live to that point in time, and he had been long since assassinated. So Lincoln's vice president filled in, and then after that, um, based on his popularity, Ulysses S. Grant was elected. And then for the bicentennial, which of course 1976, so we got 1776 as a centennial, the bicentennial, the second 100 years, was Gerald R. Ford. Because remember, Ford became president because Nixon didn't finish. Well, anyway, you know how that went. So there you go. Those were the two Republican presidents during the centennial and the bicentennial years. I don't know how I managed to answer that question. If I had to do that tomorrow, I, having never heard it before, I probably would have been like, what? Who? Okay. Nope. Republican presidents. Carter was a Democrat. Is a Democrat. And I don't think the Democrat Party was around. Was it around? Yeah, I think what's his name was a Democrat. The one that ran against Lincoln. The little giant. Lincoln. Douglas. Frederick Douglass. Was it Frederick Douglass? Anyway, he was a Democrat, I think. Okay, but yeah, sometimes I amaze myself with Jeopardy, but when they get to literature, I just start looking out the window because I'm just like, I don't know none of that stuff. I think I read maybe 5 or 6 books since high school. I've only read a handful of books since high school. Cookies and cream, we're about to go. We fix it. Oh, okay, it's been 1 hour. All right, love you guys. See you next time. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a very safe space. And yeah, I'm not even going to play any music out. I'm just going to go. Abolition. What is it? What is that? He was an abolitionist. Is that what you're saying? I don't think so. I don't remember. Anyway, you guys, I'm feeling better. Doctor says I have a bit of a, what do you call it? An ulcer. I have an ulcer. I went to see the doctor and he says I have an ulcer. And that's one of the reasons why I had that tear was because of a lot of inflammation. So I got some medication for it and we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, I'm doing fine. Gosh, that was weird though. After how many days straight? 2+ years straight, nonstop Royal Sussex. And for 5 days, I was unable to do anything. That was That was shocking. I'm still like amazed by that. I'm like, how in the world did that happen? But anyway, it is good to be back. Carol Channing. I'm thinking about that. Carol Channing? Nah. Carol Channing was too busy pretending like she wasn't black. She couldn't write no play. She was too nervous. She thought people were going to find out she was a black woman. Uh, was it 3 years straight? I guess it was, right? Yeah, I guess it was 3 years straight. Oh, my goodness. I lost track. Oh, I see. You had a call. Stephen Douglas, that was his name, the one that ran against Lincoln. Stephen A. Douglas. Frederick Douglass was the abolitionist. Stephen Douglas, oh, that's what you were saying. Stephen Douglas was the one that ran against Lincoln. Stephen A. Douglas, the famous Lincoln Douglas debates. Got my Douglases mixed up. Oh, thank you. Lydia Washington says prayers for all impacted by the hurricane. Absolutely. And if you are anywhere where there's alligators and any other reptiles that are, dangerous, just remember there is a lot of gators and such in that water. So be careful. Also, do not get electrocuted. Please be careful. Do not get electrocuted. It happens a lot in events like that. So, be very vigilant. Don't get electrocuted. Thank you, Cookies and Cream. Okay, I'm finna go because next thing you know, it'll be another half hour. I hope that Celibici comes on tomorrow. Oh, and if you're listening, Lady Sussex, we're looking forward to you being available Sunday. I hope so. I hope so. When I wake up on Sunday, I'm always looking for the Lady Sussex and George and Charles. So if you are listening, no pressure, no pressure. No, I'm not going to mess with Mayor Adams. I don't really know enough about him. You know what I'm saying? If I was a New Yorker, the fact that he snubbed William would be enough for me to vote for him. Yeah, I'll never ever be able to thank him enough for for snubbing Willie. So I don't know enough about him. I'm not going to get on his case, but also he made sure that the Sussexes received very appropriate security since that horrific evening. So I am very thankful to him for that. So as an outsider looking in on the Big Apple, I am so appreciative for that. He wasn't very helpful in the beginning, but eventually he came around. So no shade. But I hate to see any politician have a fall, because it doesn't make things better for anyone in the long run, because it's just a reminder how politics work, right? It's just a reminder how politics work. So yeah, I'm just looking at a couple of your comments here. Okay, 1 hour, 7 minutes. I'm out of here. All right, love you guys. I will see you next time. And 1992 is a year that I shan't look back upon with undiluted pleasure. Oh, wow. Okay. Bye, y'all. Good night. Love you. See you next time.